Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be taking a look at the 12 motorcycles that cross 100,000 miles without drama. Number 12, Kawasaki Vulcan S. The Kawasaki Vulcan S earns its reputation as a motorcycle that crosses 100,000 miles without drama by being simple, consistent, and built to be used every day. This bike is not about showing off. It is about starting every morning and riding without stress. Owners in the United States regularly report mileages well past six figures with only routine service, which says a lot about how well this motorcycle holds up over time. One big reason is how lightly stressed the bike feels in real-world riding. It cruises comfortably at highway speeds without feeling strained, and that calm nature reduces long-term wear. The cooling system is effective, the fueling stays stable, and the clutch and gearbox are known for lasting far longer than most riders expect. Many owners go tens of thousands of miles before even thinking about major replacements. Maintenance costs also stay reasonable. In 2026, parts are easy to find across the United States. Labor is straightforward, and most shops know this model well. Annual upkeep often stays under a few $100s if serviced on time, which is a big reason high-mile examples keep running smoothly. If you want a motorcycle that quietly crosses 100,000 miles without drama and still feels trustworthy every time you turn the key, the Kawasaki Vulcan S proves why long-term owners stay loyal. Number 11, Honda Shadow Phantom. The Honda Shadow Phantom has a long-standing reputation in the United States as a motorcycle that crosses 100,000 miles without drama. This bike is built around proven engineering and a relaxed riding nature that avoids unnecessary stress on parts. Riders who keep up with basic service often keep these bikes on the road for decades. The strength of the Shadow Phantom comes from how understressed it feels in daily use. It runs smoothly at city speeds and stays calm on the highway, which helps extend the life of internal components. Heat management is solid, the drivetrain ages slowly, and electrical issues are rare compared to many modern cruisers. Ownership costs are another reason this motorcycle lasts so long. In 2026, routine maintenance is simple and affordable. Oil changes, tires, chains, and brake parts are easy to source across the country. Annual maintenance often stays well below $400 if the bike is cared for properly. That low cost encourages owners to stay on schedule, which directly supports long-term reliability. Used prices usually fall between $3,800 and $6,000 depending on condition and mileage. The Shadow Phantom is not about excitement or trends. It is about consistency, trust, and mechanical calm. If your goal is to rack up miles year after year and cross 100,000 miles without drama, the Honda Shadow Phantom continues to prove why it is one of the safest long-term cruiser choices in America. Number 10, Yamaha V-Star 650. The Yamaha V-Star 650 is a classic example of a motorcycle that crosses 100,000 miles without drama by keeping things simple and proven. In the United States, this bike has earned trust from riders who use it daily, commute on it, and take it on long highway runs year after year. What helps the V-Star 650 last so long is how relaxed it feels in normal riding. It never feels overworked at cruising speeds, which reduces long-term stress on key parts. The cooling system stays stable in traffic, the drivetrain ages slowly, and the bike keeps its smooth behavior even as mileage climbs. Many owners report reaching very high miles with nothing more than routine service and wear items replaced on time. Maintenance is another strong point. In 2026, parts are widely available across the United States, and most repair shops are very familiar with this model. Basic upkeep is easy to budget for, often staying under $350 a year when maintained properly. That affordability plays a big role in why these bikes survive for so long. Owners are more likely to keep them serviced instead of delaying repairs. For riders who want a motorcycle that calmly reaches 100,000 miles without drama and keeps asking for more road, the Yamaha V-Star 650 remains a reliable long-term choice. Number 9, Suzuki SV650. The Suzuki SV650 stands out as a motorcycle that crosses 100,000 miles without drama by balancing everyday usability with long-term toughness. In the United States, this bike is known for surviving hard commutes, weekend rides, and long highway miles without turning into a maintenance headache. It is a machine riders keep for years, not seasons. A key reason for its longevity is how naturally stable it feels in real riding. It handles stop-and-go traffic well, stays smooth at highway speed, and does not run hot under pressure. That steady behavior reduces wear over time. Owners often report extremely high mileage with original major components still working as expected as long as regular service is done. Running costs stay reasonable, which helps riders keep the bike healthy. In 2026, parts availability in the United States is excellent, and most shops know this model inside out. Routine maintenance is simple and affordable, often landing between $300 and $450 per year. Because the bike does not demand expensive or frequent repairs, owners are less likely to skip service, which directly supports long-term reliability. The Suzuki SV650 proves that reaching 100,000 miles does not require constant attention or stress. If you want a motorcycle that keeps riding the same way year after year and crosses major mileage milestones without drama, this one continues to earn its reputation. Number 8. Royal Enfield Classic 350. The Royal Enfield Classic 350 has built a quiet reputation in the United States as a motorcycle that crosses 100,000 miles without drama by doing everything at its own calm pace. This bike is not rushed, and that slow, steady nature plays a huge role in its long life. Riders who respect its rhythm often keep it running smoothly for years with very little trouble. What helps the Classic 350 last is how gently it operates in daily riding. It is rarely pushed hard, which keeps heat, vibration, and long-term wear under control. The mechanical layout is simple, easy to inspect, and easy to maintain. Owners who follow basic service schedules often report extremely high mileage with the bike still feeling familiar and dependable. Maintenance costs stay friendly for American riders. In 2026, parts are easy to source, labor is straightforward, and most routine work can be done without expensive tools. Annual upkeep commonly stays around $300 or less when handled on time. On the used market, prices usually fall between $3,800 and $5,500 depending on condition. Even higher-mile examples sell well because buyers understand what this motorcycle is built for. The Classic 350 is about patience and consistency. If you want a motorcycle that quietly builds miles, stays predictable, and crosses 100,000 miles without drama, the Royal Enfield Classic 350 continues to earn long-term trust. Number 7. Yamaha Bolt. The Yamaha Bolt proves that a straightforward design can still be a motorcycle that crosses 100,000 miles without drama. In the United States, this bike has developed a loyal following among riders who value reliability over flash. It feels solid from day one and keeps that same character even as mileage climbs. One reason the Bolt lasts so long is its steady behavior in everyday use. It handles traffic, short trips, and highway cruising without feeling stressed. That balanced nature helps reduce wear on key components over time. Owners often report that the bike feels largely unchanged after years of use, which is exactly what long-term riders want. Maintenance is simple and predictable. In 2026, service parts are easy to find nationwide, and most shops are comfortable working on this model. Routine upkeep often stays under $400 per year if done on schedule. Because costs stay reasonable, owners are more likely to keep up with regular service instead of delaying it, which directly helps the bike reach very high mileage. Used prices usually range from $5,000 to $7,000 depending on condition. Even examples with higher miles hold value well because the Bolt has earned a reputation for aging gracefully. If your goal is a motorcycle that quietly crosses 100,000 miles without drama and keeps asking for more road, the Bolt continues to prove why it belongs on this list. Number 6. Triumph Bonneville Bobber. The Triumph Bonneville Bobber earns its place as a motorcycle that crosses 100,000 miles without drama by being built with restraint and discipline. This bike is not rushed, not overworked, and not complicated for the sake of novelty. In the United States, long-term owners often point out how consistently it behaves even after years of regular riding. What sets the bobber apart is how planted and controlled it feels at all times. It settles into cruising speeds easily and stays mechanically calm, which plays a major role in long service life. Components do not feel pushed beyond their limits, and that balance shows as mileage climbs. Ownership costs stay reasonable for what the bike offers. In 2026, service support across the United States is solid, and replacement parts are readily available. Routine maintenance typically stays between $400 and $600 per year when done on time. That level of cost encourages proper care, which is exactly why so many examples stay reliable long-term. Used prices usually land between $8,000 and $11,000 depending on condition. Even bikes with significant mileage attract buyers because the bobber does not gain a reputation for age-related surprises. The Bonneville bobber is proof that a focused design ages better than flashy complexity. If you want a motorcycle that stays composed, dependable, and drama-free all the way to 100,000 miles and beyond, this Triumph shows how consistency wins in the long run. Number 5. Honda Goldwing. The Honda Goldwing has long been known in the United States as a motorcycle that crosses 100,000 miles without drama by being built for distance from the ground up. This bike is designed to run all day, every day without feeling strained, and that approach shows clearly as miles stack up over the years. What makes the Goldwing last is its ability to stay mechanically relaxed even on long highway stretches. It holds steady speeds effortlessly, manages heat well, and avoids the kind of constant stress that shortens a motorcycle's life. In 2026, maintenance support across the United States remains excellent. Parts availability is strong, service knowledge is widespread, and routine upkeep is predictable. Annual maintenance often falls between $500 and $700, which is reasonable considering how many miles the bike covers. Because it is meant for long-distance use, owners tend to follow service schedules closely, helping the bike last even longer. Used prices commonly range from $9,000 to $14,000 depending on condition and mileage. Even high-mile examples continue to sell because buyers trust the Goldwing's history. If crossing 100,000 miles without drama is the goal, the Honda Goldwing has been doing it quietly for years. Number 4. Kawasaki Vulcan 900. The Kawasaki Vulcan 900 builds its reputation as a motorcycle that crosses 100,000 miles without drama by staying honest and overbuilt for everyday riding. In the United States, this bike is commonly used for commuting, long highway runs, and weekend miles without being treated gently, and it handles that life well. What helps the Vulcan 900 last is how stable it feels across all speeds. It settles into cruising without strain, does not run excessively hot, and avoids the constant vibration that wears bikes down over time. Riders often say the bike feels the same at 60,000 miles as it did much earlier, which is a strong sign of long-term durability. In 2026, ownership remains affordable and predictable. Parts are easy to find nationwide, and most service shops are familiar with this model. Regular maintenance usually stays around $400 to $550 per year when done on schedule. Because nothing about the bike is difficult or expensive to service, owners tend to stay consistent with care, which keeps problems away. Used prices typically sit between $5,500 and $8,000 depending on condition. Even higher-mile bikes sell steadily because buyers trust the platform and know what to expect. If you want a motorcycle that keeps rolling past 100,000 miles without drama and asks for nothing more than basic care, the Kawasaki Vulcan 900 fits that role perfectly. Number 3. Yamaha MT-07. The Yamaha MT-07 proves that a modern street bike can still be a motorcycle that crosses 100,000 miles without drama when it is ridden and maintained with some sense. In the United States, many owners use this bike as a daily ride, piling on miles through traffic, highways, and weekend trips without it turning into a problem machine. What helps the MT-07 last is how balanced it feels in real life. It pulls cleanly at normal speeds, stays composed in stop-and-go riding, and does not feel overworked on longer highway runs. Running costs stay friendly, which matters when miles add up fast. In 2026, parts availability across the United States is strong, and most shops are very familiar with this platform. Routine maintenance usually lands between $300 and $450 per year. Because upkeep stays affordable, owners are less likely to delay service, which plays a big role in the bike's long lifespan. Used prices typically range from $6,000 to $8,500 depending on condition and mileage. Even higher-mile examples sell quickly because buyers know the MT-07 ages in a straightforward way. If you want a motorcycle that stays fun, dependable, and drama-free while quietly pushing past 100,000 miles, the Yamaha MT-07 shows how consistency pays off. Number 2. Suzuki Boulevard C50. The Suzuki Boulevard C50 earns its place as a motorcycle that crosses 100,000 miles without drama by being built for steady, repeatable riding. In the United States, this bike is often used for long commutes, highway cruising, and weekend miles, and it handles that routine without wearing itself out. It is the kind of motorcycle that stays calm no matter how long you keep it. The C50 works well because it never feels rushed. It settles into cruising speed easily and stays smooth hour after hour, which limits long-term strain. Heat control remains consistent, the drivetrain ages slowly, and the bike keeps its familiar feel even after many years on the road. Owners regularly report high mileage with the motorcycle still starting, riding, and stopping the same way it always has. In 2026, maintenance remains simple and affordable across the United States. Parts are widely available, and most service shops have worked on this model for years. Annual upkeep usually stays between $350 and $500 when handled on time. Because service is not complicated or costly, owners tend to stay consistent, which is why so many C50s reach very high miles. The Suzuki Boulevard C50 proves that steady design and basic care are enough to cross 100,000 miles without drama and keep going strong. Number 1. Honda Rebel 500. The Honda Rebel 500 closes this list as a motorcycle that crosses 100,000 miles without drama by being honest, light, and easy to live with. In the United States, this bike is often used as a daily ride, which means cold starts, traffic, short trips, and highway miles all add up fast. It handles that kind of use better than most people expect. What keeps the Rebel 500 running for so long is how little stress it carries in normal riding. It feels relaxed at legal speeds, stays smooth in traffic, and does not punish its own components over time. Riders who stay consistent with service often say the bike feels nearly the same at high mileage as it did early on, which is rare in this class. In 2026, ownership costs remain a strong reason for its long life. Parts are easy to find across the United States, labor is simple, and most shops know the bike well. Routine maintenance often stays between $250 and $400 per year. Because upkeep is affordable, owners do not delay service, and that habit alone adds years of reliable use. Used prices usually sit between $5,000 and $7,500 depending on condition and miles. Even bikes with heavy use sell quickly because buyers trust the Rebel's track record. If your goal is steady miles, low stress, and crossing 100,000 miles without drama, the Honda Rebel 500 quietly proves why it earns the top spot. And with this, we have reached the end of this video. Make sure to like it and subscribe the channel for future upcoming videos.